welcome back again to my channel. This is me, Gladys Domingo, and for today's vlog, I'm going to share you my personal experience in applying for a visa for my family here in the UK. So if you have a tier 2 visa and you want to be with your family, you can apply for a dependent visa. So keep on watching. Let's go. Hiya, so we are now here. I'm just going to share to you my personal experience in applying visa for my family. So the first thing that you have to do is to ask for a certificate of employment to the company, to the hospital, to the trust that you are working with. So after you secured that one, of course you have to scan your BRP. And for the first dependent, of course, there's the two things for you as a sponsor that you have to do. Just acquire for certificate of employment and the copy of your BRP. And the next thing now is for the first dependent. So you have to ask that dependent if he is your or she is now your wife or your husband. They have to provide a marriage certificate that is taken from the PSA or an NSO in the Philippines. And if you are another country, I just don't know what type of association that you can get your valid marriage certificate. Yeah, so you have to provide that one. And then the next thing is that they have to get a police clearance. So the police clearance, if your partner or your spouse live or work in any other country for a minimum of 6 months for the past 10 years, they have to get a police clearance in that certain country. Third one is that they have to book for tuberculosis tests. So if your partner or your spouse is living in a country where tuberculosis is very rampant, so yeah, Philippines, India, and Africa. No, I'm just telling the truth. They are not allowing you to enter the UK unless you have to provide a certificate that you are tuberculosis free. So because if you are staying in the Middle East, they don't require you to do an IOM test. And yeah, the valid passport, yeah, of your first dependent. So pretty much you have only 4 requirements for your first dependent. So the 2 requirement will be coming from the sponsor, which is now you. And next, if you're going to get your child, of course you have your 2 requirements already from you, the sponsor. That's now your certificate of employment in your BRP. For your child, you have to provide what is that, birth certificate. Of course, get it again from a valid association. I don't know if I said it right, a valid association. So yeah, just to make sure it's valid. And then next is that, of course, a valid passport, and then an IOM test again. Yeah, even though they are children, they have to undergo for a tuberculosis test. And then last is a letter. This letter now tells that the guardian or the parent is allowing their child to travel and to be with a certain person, to travel in the UK. So they have four and 4, and then 2 requirements from the sponsor. So I think if you provide them all, you can now start the application. Just a little bit more info. In the Philippines, IOM test is it costs you as an adult 3,500, and for the child it's 600 pesos. Yeah, so, and also you have to book for an IOM prior to visiting the center. It's because they will not entertain you. So I'm just going to give you a short link here, or the email address or contact number of IOM Manila. Yeah, here. So you can send them an email or send them a message so that they can book for you, so you can talk about your available dates and time. Okay, so after providing or preparing all the necessary documents, you can now go to www.uk.gov. This is now the page where you can apply for your visa. So just a little bit info again. Last year when I applied for my family's visa, they cut down the half of the visa price for nurses or for healthcare workers. So before it was 400 and something for individual, for a one dependent, and they make it into half, so I only paid for 230 each for my dependent. I just don't know now if they return it back to original price. So yeah, so when you go to the www.uk.gov page, you can see there now how to apply. I'm going to show you where. Just a little bit of click and click and click, upload everything, submit all your documents, and that's it. Yeah, so I'm gonna be showing it to you now.
So you can go directly to www.gov.uk. Yeah, so it will direct you to the type of visa that you're going to apply to. So you can click the partner dependent visa if you're going to apply for your partner first, and then just press next, and it will direct you to the country that you're going to provide your biometrics, and you type Philippines there and then press next, and it shows you now the available biometric enrollment location. Yeah, I just have to click that one. Yes, so it will go directly to the VFS Global, and then just type the country, type Philippines if you're going to provide your biometric there. Yeah, and then just press select, and then it will show you cities where the biometric locations are available, and it will show you all the services that the VFS Global has been offering. This is the portion where I told you that as much as possible, if you can upload all your documents, so you don't need to acquire any of their services. So you can now, after checking that, you can go back now to the application area. Yeah, so after that, you just confirm that you have checked all the biometric enrollment locations. Yeah, and then just press next, and it will show you now all the type of visa that can apply for a dependent visa. So we have the skilled worker, tier 1, 2, 4, or 5, and then it show you also the details for applying for that visa. If you have time, you can read it. And yeah, so, and then yeah, just take time to read, and just press now that button, and then you can start now an application. Just make sure that you provide a valid email address, because they're gonna send you a confirmation link, and you can start now your applications. And then you can see there at the top portion all the application documents, declaration, pay, and further actions. You can see all the steps of it there, and just make sure that you entered and provide all the correct informations prior to the payment section. Yeah, and also after that, you can again start for another application, which is now for your child dependent visa. So just type again the Philippines, and then it will show you the same steps that you did with now the partner dependent visa application.
So after submitting and uploading all the necessary documents to the system, it will now direct you to a VFS Global. So this is now, I think, the UK immigration in any country that helps or facilitate now for the visa application. So in any VFS center, they're gonna take your fingerprints for your visa, and they're going to process it for a maximum of 14 working days, and you just have to wait for it. And then when your visa arrive, you are now ready to book for your plane ticket. Congratulations. Yeah, so that's it. But also, just one tip in VFS Global Center: if I were you, I will upload all the documents that I have shown or I have mentioned a while ago, just because if you are in the center and then you're going to scan it there, you are just going to pay for a few more pennies, few more peso, and it's a kind of expensive. So if you are trying to save, and you can just upload it there, and also it's for your convenience. Now you know that it's easier to travel without all the papers, and especially now that it's pandemic, we can do these things online. So we're trying our best to limit the contacts and trying to give more source of or infection. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So we go now for next stage. When you got your visa, you are now going to book for your plane ticket. So when you book your plane ticket, make sure that the airplane won't pass or won't lay over to any countries that are on the red list. Yeah, just because even though you stay there only for 1 minute or 30 seconds or just a few more minutes or few more hours, you are now considered to, how do you call this one? You are now considered to be like in a very high risk in a very high risk position. Yeah, so you have to quarantine now to a government hotel, which now cost you £1,000 more. Yeah, so just make sure, just have that you check the UK.gov page. So you check now the red list countries there, but I think Philippines and India now are on the red list. So I just don't know if they are allowing nurses from this country to be in the UK at the moment, just because last year when I applied for the visa, when I booked for the plane for my family's plane ticket, I booked their ticket in Etihad Airways, and unfortunately UAE, just after few weeks, UAE was in the red list already. So I have to find another airlines that will not pass in a certain countries that are in the red list, because it will cost me additional payment, and I can't afford to like risk them as well. And yeah, so I booked another airlines that won't pass UAE. So after booking now your airlines, you are now going to provide certain things again prior to your departure. So of course, you have to provide a valid COVID negative certificate. Why I said it's valid? It's because you can only go to a testing center that is approved by the UK government. Yeah, you cannot just go to any testing center that is not approved by the UK government, because they won't allow you to enter UK. So you need to check always the www.uk.gov, and you can see there all the valid testing centers. Just type Philippines, and then they're gonna show you all the testing centers. You can go there. There's a lot, so it won't be hard for you. So you have to provide a negative certificate for at least 48 to 72 hours prior to departure. And also you have to submit or fill up a passenger locator form for each of your dependent.
You can now fill out the passenger locator form in the page www.gov.uk. Also, if you want, I'm just going to put all the links that I've shown you here in the description box below, so that it's easy for you to find all the necessary pages that you're going to put all documents. Also, it's kind of hard to find all the pages, yeah, especially it's a very big page. So but there's a search button there up, so if you need something you can just search it there. And also just make sure that you only start to do the application form, fill up the application form 48 hours prior to your departure. And you can see now the start now button there, and you can start now filling up your passenger locator form and make sure to print it.
But for the COVID a negative certificate, only 11 years old and above are the ones required to do this the COVID test. Yeah, for 11 years old and below, they don't require you to do the COVID test. So yeah, and also the next thing is that you have to book for a COVID swab, a self testing swab in the UK when you arrive, because you have to do the swab on the 2nd and the 8th day of arrival. So prior to departure, you have to show them that you already booked for this test, or else they will not, let you go.
So this is now the page where you can book for your COVID test that should be done at home here in the UK. So you can see now the area where you can type the country that you're traveling from. And yeah, so unfortunately when I was typing the Philippines, it doesn't show there, as well as India, because I think we are on the red list country. So but just in case it open up again, just put the country that you're traveling from there, and then it will go you directly now to the page where you can select for your COVID test kit, and then you can put your delivery address over there, the contact information, and then you have to fill up the people who will take the test, and then it will go directly to the payment section. And then yeah, just one more thing, before it's £240, and I think they just reduced it to £170. Yeah, I'm just going to put the link as well in the description box below, so you can easily go to this page. Yeah.
So I'll just repeat again all the necessary documents that you'll be needing prior to departure. Of course, your certificate that you are negative from COVID, and then next is your passenger locator form, and then the copy of the receipt that you book yourself testing COVID swab or something in the UK for the 2nd and 8th day of your arrival, and along with your passport and with your visa. And yeah, so that pretty much it. I think if I left something, or if you're a little bit confused to the process or to the steps, I'm going to write it down below. And if you have any questions, that just let me know. You can just send me a message, or you can just comment down, and I'm happy to help. Yeah, and again, I don't know if there's any further changes, or if you have to pay another things. I just don't know. Yeah, and also another thing is that when applied for the visa of my family, I didn't pay for the health surcharge, so they lifted it up. I don't know if it's already back. So I think the health surcharge is around 1,200 each for your dependent. So I just don't know if they're going to bring it back, or if already they did. So I just don't know. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. So have a great day, and God bless you all. Stay safe. Bye.